Yo, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? My name is CoolMan100X. Welcome to the Red Sea. What's going on? So be sure to mostly check out the Patreon and also make sure you check out the ebooks. They'll be below. Also make sure you support your boy Kool-Aid Man and stuff. So we're going to be going over a play called the Bunch Strong Nasty and Bunch Strong Nasty, and the play is called Dagger. I'm going to be going a little bit more in depth with the bunch, man, first tutorial, so stay up to date. If you want the ebooks, they'll be below. Will be more to come in the future. I'm going to try to make them all, and they'll be down there. And, So, we're going to be going over how to break down this play in the gun Bunch Strong Nasty, which is one of the best formations in the game to use. One of my ebooks does have this, so I might as well give y'all a good play out of this that you can utilize for your audibles or whatever that you want to utilize. The play is called Dagger. What you want to do here, run it. We're going to respot the ball. I like doing a little bit back here. So, okay, so when we're going over Dagger, you want to look at this play for what it is. The play, what I do when I actually study my plays is that I want to look at the play itself, and also I want to let you guys know what this play is out of. It's in the Denver Broncos playbook, Indianapolis Colts, Philadelphia Eagles, Seahawks, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's where you'll find this play at. So after we got that out the way, I meant to say at the beginning, my fault. So what you want to do, when I study my plays, when I start getting a little bit more deep into Madden, when I'm starting to understand a little bit more for myself, is that I want to see if I can run a play stocked. How good is it running stock before I add adjustments? Before I start adding hot streaks, all the other stuff that I want to use, as far as the team that I use, what it can run with the team, before I start getting more in depth for that. But our first bare minimum thing is seeing if the play can run stock, to see how it runs, to see how it is, to see how much time you got in the pocket, all types of things. So what I like to do is just run the play itself and see how it runs before I throw it, before anything. I actually do this a lot. Then I go to the instant replay here. So this is where it actually opens up to see how fast the defenders get into, see how much time, see how many people they can send, see what type of blitzes, how the formation is ran. It's so much to go more in depth when you look into plays like this. So what you want to do here is understanding how is your first check down. You want to decide who is going to be your first check down, which is going to be the drag is my first check down. My second one is going to be the tight end, which is going to this circle route. That's back in. Then I got my third read, which will be the wide receiver. Then my last read is going to be the streak that's going to be switched in the future. So now that we got the idea of how this play is being ran, Dagger, we can actually open it up. Because me personally, I want to learn Bunch for myself, but Bunch is just like running my favorite offenses, which is going to be spread. So when I figured this out, to me, it's adding more diversity on the field when you use Bunch. So Dagger actually opens up a lot for you, which is that drag across the field and all that stuff. Now, a lot of people run the drag different. They might get bumped, so it actually throws it off a little bit, or it might be short. So you have to look at that as well. So what I do is, just for instance, just to actually throw it out, I like to redrag my drag. So as you can see here, when you re-stretch the play, you see the drag is a little short. You can't really tell, but they actually get rerouted. So I like to reroute my drags, and as you can see and play the drag, he comes out a little bit more better. See the difference? So when you reroute stuff, you see the difference there. So I like to reroute my drag, and it actually puts it up a little bit. Now, the next thing I want to do is that I won't run streaks, but I like to run fades. So I will put him in a fade. Now, this is totally up to you. You can actually rock the streak if you want, but I like putting the streak in the fade to actually get the defense to pull back a little bit. Now, this is where I call freestyle. Well, you got your two main reads that you want to do, and you want to practice these two main reads to see how it's ran. So you see your drag is running better, your streak is running better, your circle route's running better, all types of things. So you want to just practice that first hot route itself. Well, now you set up two fades and you're good. You set up two fades and a drag. So you're seeing how the drag is coming a little bit untouched. You got a little breakaway. Now you got your two fades running nice. You got your drag actually moving upfield past the line of scrimmage, so he gets a 2-yard ban. See the difference between a drag? I'm going to show you here. So when you run a drag regularly stocked, see, run a drag stock, look how close he is to the line. See what I'm saying? A lot of people don't understand that. Now, when you run the streak, the drag now, look how far he actually goes out on the drag, actually being pushed and stuff like that. Well, to be truly honest with you, being bumped in this situation is good, but once you reroute the drag, he actually goes out a little bit more further. See, so now you get a rack catch up the field. Totally different, right? So now that we got our 2 hot routes now, we got our fade, we got our 2 fades here. So now we got our 2 fades. Now we pretty much got our 3 basic routes down. So we feel as though them is going to be the ones to remember. This is going to be my set here. This is going to be what I run first thing. Now, this is where you freestyle the tight end. Don't get me wrong, the tight end route is good, but feel as though it's a little bit too slow for me. So what I like to do is actually freestyle it. So me personally, I like the flats. Me personally, I like the whip routes. The whip routes, a lot of people don't really pay attention to, which a lot of people actually don't really pay attention to. The whip routes will be available corner crosses, trails. They got so many that you can do. And by having Mahomes, you can actually add a post. So this actually makes it more deadly because having that option with Mahomes actually gives you a little bit more of a, type thing. Plus you got the delay. You can actually run him a delay. It's so much you can do with this. You got the out route, you got the streak, you got the curl, you got the flat, you got the pass block, you got the smart route, and then you got, superstar that you can add a little bit more. It does not have to whip route with this, but you can actually add a out route. Me personally, because I wish they added this, but they never did it, you can actually go to the corner. To me, this route is cool. Then he goes to the outside of the field, which opens up the drag a little bit more. So as you can see that by having Mahomes, it actually adds a dynamic to it. Now, we're going to put our 2 routes in the fade, 2 routes in the fade. Now we got our 2 fades. Now, let's say if you don't have, Kool-Aid, I don't have Mahomes, so what do I do next? So what I like to do, just to keep my defensive honest, I like to add a flood. A little bit of a flood concept. Now, this is where it really get interesting because now you don't have the out route, you don't have the corner route, like Kool-Aid, what I'm going to do. So what I like to do is put my left wide receiver on a slant. As you can see, this adds a little bit of a flood concept to it. So you actually got the blocking, you actually got the flood concept to the right. Then your first read is going to switch between Kelsey and Scantling, which would be the square or the X. It would be between those two. Circle would be your main read, but you actually want to be able to look from left to right from your field. So once you see Kelsey, switch to square. Then once you see square, you will see circle. See what I'm saying? From left to right. So as you see here, you see X, you see square, you see what I'm saying? How it adds a level dynamic to it. It took me a minute to understand how to run bunch, and this is how you actually got to look for the reads when you're checking down. So your first read is going to be to the right, which would be Kelsey. That'll be your first hit. If that linebacker is not catching up to Kelsey, that's an extra 2 to 3 yards. Me, I'm a yard guy. If I can get it, my whole goal of my offense is if I can get 1 yard, I'm fine. If I don't gain anything, there's a problem. So that's my whole goal in my offense, is to gain 1 yard. That's it. That's all. That's all I want to do. That gets my momentum going. That's where I'm going. So if he checks down, you already know your second option is going to be Scantling, which is square. Now, if he's open, pretty much you get inside positioning. That's an extra 5 or 10 yards, if not a touchdown. Now, if he's not open, you got to check down to the user here in case the user is not using well. Remember, you have this drag. The drag is always going to be in front of him. Even though he's slow, you still be able to react to him. But that would be your left to right sequence. But mainly square is going to be open. So when you're running this dagger, you actually want to utilize what you want to do in situations. So it's not about just, oh man, can I run this play? Can I run that play? It's how you check now. And then it's depending on what you can do with the quarterback. So can you run out the field? Can you run in the field? So that comes into play too as well. So you actually want to take that into consideration. So when you run in a square, you see now the drag is open. So you actually want to utilize what you want to utilize as well. That's just one of the second adjustments that you want to do. Now, let's say if you want to really freestyle it. So now you can put him in a flat. You can put him in a slant. Put your receiver here. Put the R1. Now, this is going to be a different one. You can put him in an N and put the R1 because you got the slant option now. See what I'm saying? But after you add that, you can add a fade, you can add an in, you can do so much stuff with it. So now you have that. So you got a inward post with the tight end, a corner, the out, up, so much stuff you can do. Me personally, I like an in route. So, and you can smart route it. Now you have this type of play. You got the slant going to the left. You got the drag from the left side. You got a flood concept to the right. It's so much dynamic because he's pushing the zones up and the linebackers. So as you see here, you got the option here. Then you got a nice red catch across the field. Actually open things up for you. So that concept is a little bit more different. It's a little bit more of a read depending on how the defense is ran. So this actually gives you a little bit more because you got the drag that actually gives you a couple yards here. See the yards that you get here. Remember, like I told you, you read from left to right. Your first read is always going to be Kelsey to that flat. If you see this flat, always throw it. To me, if it's open like this and you got Kelsey or a good tight end or a running back, anybody you can very good do with one-on-one, you can utilize that. I will have a pro tip on how to utilize using your offense and players with running backs, tight ends, pretty much doing moves and situations. I will have that ebook called the coaching tips, hidden coaching tips, pro tips and stuff like that. So definitely be on the lookout for that ebook. That will be in the description in the future or now or whenever it's out. Taking my time. So when you see the flat open, you'll be able to hit Kelsey one-on-one. You got one-on-one. My whole situation of running my offense is that, just like I said at the beginning, is getting 1 yard. That's all I want. That's all I need. I'm not pushing myself. I got to get 5, get 10. 1 yard. That's even in running plays, 1 yard. So you have the slant, you have the drag here, which kind of be like a trend, but he got a nice cut. So this actually a drag. Now with this drag, this actually gives you a full blown boost across the middle of the field because now he splits the defender. Now this gets you extra separation because now you see the DB actually looking back at the quarterback, which is too late. He already threw it. Then you can just pass lead that and catch it right up the field. Now, what's really smart about this play is that now you have that in route in the middle of the field. You got 2 open routes that you can hit, the middle or the out. Me, I just like the easy pass. So I don't know if you'll break on it, but yeah, the in route is good. So now that gives you a little bit more versatility on utilizing the bunch a little bit more better. Let's say if you want to mix it up even more, we can actually add a slant here, actually add a in route, in route here, which would be a zig. Now we're gonna add a zig. Now we're gonna add a zig route to this. A zig. A lot of people don't really pass with the zigs, but the zigs are deadly this year. Now we actually got us a nice little flood concept, but this is what you want to do. You want to put the tight end in a drag. Because tight ends and drags this year are very deadly coming out this type of the position. Now we're really going to add a dynamic to it and put the running back in a flat. Now let's say if you don't have Mahomes to put him in a flat, you can actually add him into a out route or a left out route, either or. I like the out route. So if we don't have Mahomes, you can do that. To me, I like the flat routes because they're the best in the game. So now you got this concept that actually opens up so much and then pass lead right up the middle of the field. So this actually gives you just so many defending yards. So this actually add a whole different dynamic to the team of freestyling your routes and adding a little bit more dynamic. Now that you got him focusing on the zig route and the drag, you actually got a block here. So you got you a nice little block of the field when you rack catch and you got one-on-one. But usually when they suck down like that, this opens up that slant route. So he's too late to break on the ball and look how many yards you gained right there in the corner of the field with the bunch. So now remember, you got that running back. Just like I said, any one-on-one situation, if he's guarding you very toughly, you can definitely hit that if you want. So that's my take on the Dagger. I hope you guys enjoy. Pretty long of a video, but that's just how you run the bunch. I will have more tips and stuff on plays to break it down for you in different formation and plays that you can run. So I hope you enjoy. I'm out of here, guys. Deuces.